Hi, I'm Cheryl. Today we're going to make this simply elegant birthday card. I just love this crumb cake and basic black combo, don't you? So these are the things you're going to need today. We'll be using our Dragonfly Dreams bundle, and that's the stamps. We'll be using this stamp right here, and then from the dies, we'll be using this die. Now, you notice how I keep my things? When I get a bundle, I put my dies on these magnetic strips. This is cut from a sheet of a magnetic sheet, and then I just put that in. There's plenty of room. And then if I do anything like make stencils or whatever, I just tuck them right inside, and then I have everything all together. So, Dragonfly Dreams bundle. Be using from the Celebration this Avant-Garden. We'll just be using the Happy Birthday Wishes stamp from that. And then from Blooms and Wishes, we'll be using this little branch with like bud type things on the end of it, right here. I used Early Espresso ink and Crumb Cake. We'll need our Tombow glue, our Stampin Dimensionals, and you'll need a little sponge dauber. And then the papers we used. I have the basic black cardstock, and this is 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored and folded at 4 1/4. We need 2 pieces of Very Vanilla, and these are 5 by 3 3/4. And you'll need a scrap piece, approximately 3.5 by 2.5, to stamp and cut your butter or your dragonfly out from. Now I've already done that. If you get the stamps and you didn't get the die cut, you could always fussy cut this out. But I had both, so stamped it first, then lined up the die cut, and cut it out. So we have that already done. I'm going to leave these out. We'll be using those first. And then I have 2 pieces of Crumb Cake cardstock, and those are 1 1/4 by 3 3/4. Actually, mine are a little bit longer. I'm just gonna, you'll see, I'm gonna trim them off when I stick them down. So let's start with our cardstock and our Crumb Cake ink. And we'll do our little branches. See? We're going to use that one. And let's see, I have some scrap paper here. I'll put that underneath. And remember, we'll be covering part of the top and the bottom of this. So I'm just gonna make a line on here, so I remember that I don't want to go right to the edge. Okay. So I'm going to stamp that off once so it's not real dark. And we're just going to build ourselves some little branches. Just like this. We'll have some come in from this side. Some coming from the top. Oh, let's do some coming in over here. You see how I'm doing that? I'm trying to make it look a little more branchy rather than just a single stamp. Let's go over here. And I'm stamping off on some of these so they're not all the real dark crumb cake. And let's see, some here more I think. Fill that in a little bit more. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to bring this piece in, and we're just going to do a couple in the corner. And that will go on the inside of our card. Let me tap that off. Here we go. And that's plenty for the inside. Now we'll take our sponge dauber. Get that inked up, and I always like to work that into my sponge real good on my silicone mat here, and we're just gonna put a little bit of the crumb cake shadowing just behind where the branches are. You see? Okay, so the inside is done. Let's pull this in. And just add just a little shading. All right, there we go. All right. Now don't put your sponge dauber away yet, or your ink, because we're going to take our two pieces of crumb cake and we're just going to tear real close right along one edge. You know what, I could probably put both of these together and do both at once. Let me do that. A little time saver. Okay. And we'll just tear those. This will go on the top and the bottom of the very vanilla cardstock on the front. Then once we get this done, we'll get that sponge dauber out and just add some color around the edges. It just defines these pieces, makes them stand out a little bit more. And just real light all around the edges. Okay, that one's done. And we'll do this one. These stamp sets are just really nice. I like this Avant-Garden one. That's got a, I don't know, if you didn't notice, there's a flower and a leaf and a stem. They're like a watercolor look stamp. Okay. This right here, and then this one. Oh, I think I had a glare on there so you couldn't see it. But this right here, it is really pretty. Well, let's get our Tombow glue out. Oh. Get some. Oh, I don't need that. Let's get that out of the way. Okay. bottom here. Yeah, because I cut mine too long, I'll have to go back and sponge along the edge there. Get this piece on here. Oh. Should probably put it the right side up, or in the right place, huh? Okay, there we go. And then we have our borders on there. Just trim that off. And add our color back on there. There. But that Tombow glue is really sticky. Okay, now we can stamp our happy birthday wishes on there. And I use the, I don't know if I told you, but I used early Espresso for the Dragonfly, and I'm going to use that also for the greeting. But if you don't have the early Espresso, you could use black ink. I just like to use if I've got the dark color in the color family I'm working with, I like to use that. Okay, and there we go. We've got our birthday wishes on there. We can attach this to the card front now. Let's get our Tombow on there. And one thing nice about working with the Tombow glue, gives you a little bit of time to get things centered. It doesn't stick immediately. And we'll put our inside sentiment, well, not a sentiment, but just a little decoration. I didn't put a sentiment on the inside, but I left room to, to write a little something. I often do that. I think it makes it a little bit more personal if you put a little handwritten note inside. Okay, now we'll take our Dragonfly and get some dimensionals on the back of him. I'm just going to use little edge pieces because there's not a whole lot of room on this Dragonfly. And we're just putting it on the body and the head section. That way we can bend the wings up a little bit and give the card a little bit more dimension. And we'll put him down right there. Okay. Give his wings a little pop. Pop up, there we go. And our card is finished. If you'd like to see more of my videos, then be sure to hit the subscribe button below. If you liked it, then hit like. If you'd like to shop with me, and we have so many nice things coming out at Stampin' Up! Right now, you might want to do that. Then you can go, you can shop, you can go right to the website, right through my either my Facebook page or my website, and that'll be listed below along with all the materials that we used today. So y'all take care, stay safe, and happy stamping.